The Visit is the new movie by M. Night Shyamalan. He's the Oscar-nominated writer and director of such hits as The Happening, Avatar: The Last Airbender,
the live-action version,
and After Earth, starring superstar Jaden Smith. His newest hit follows two young teenagers, Becca and Tyler. Becca is a 15-year-old girl who's trying to make a documentary about her family with her video camera, and Tyler is a 13-year-old misogynist. Also, he's a rapper, and boy does he rap a lot. These two kids get sent up to their grandparents' house while their mother goes on a week-long cruise, finally getting to meet them for the first time ever. But while they're there, weird things start happening. Nana crawls around on the floor and gets naked and vomits and does other stupid stuff, while Pop Pop shits his pants. Clearly this is foreshadowing for what we're about to see, as again, we get some classic M. Night Shyamalan. Now real talk, I did not know that The Visit was being released as both a horror and a comedy film. I think that technically classifying the film as a comedy created a sort of safety net to the stupidity typically found in M. Night Shyamalan's movies. Granted, it's still not a good comedy, but the genre safety net definitely does save the film from being completely dismissible.
at times.
It's still a really bad movie, but I'll get to that in a moment. The Visit is shot in the found footage style that's becoming very popular with horror movies these days, especially low-budget ones. These movies usually aren't really that good, which has created kind of a negative disposition towards them as far as what to expect.
There are still good examples of these movies, such as The Blair Witch Project, the first Paranormal Activity, and Cloverfield, but found footage isn't yet as consistently strong a medium for storytelling as regular cinematography is.
Usually it seems like found footage is a way for lesser-known directors to kind of establish a name for themselves so that they can move on to bigger projects that are shot more traditionally and have a bit more of a budget.
For example, Adam Wingard directed a segment in VHS, an anthology horror film, all consisting of tales told through found footage, and then went on to direct films such as You're Next and The Guest.
Now, I'm explaining this because I can't really think of any example where an already established director,
no matter how bad the reputation,
has decided to move down to the found footage genre. It seems sort of illogical, but so is the progression of Shyamalan's career. Now, as far as The Visit goes, to be honest, the camera work was a little too good to be convincing in a found footage film. How's that for a complaint? The cinematography wasn't shitty enough. It just felt out of place with the setup, you know? Like, the kids would know exactly where to point the camera before something would jump out and scare the audience. Omniscience isn't supposed to be found in these kinds of movies. You're not really supposed to know everything that's going on around the characters. You're supposed to feel like you're them, and you're supposed to feel trapped in the same situation they're in. You're the person holding the camera, shaking the hell out of it when you're scared. You're not supposed to be able to see the forest through the trees with these movies, if you know what I'm saying. But is the movie scary?
Tyler raps like 3 times.
No, the film is not scary at all. It uses a bunch of amateur and cheap scare tactics to get a gasp from the audience every couple of minutes. The main one they use are those jump scares you can see coming from a mile away. So many times I just wanted to be like, oh, there it is, you can't get me, I found you. But you still just gotta sit through some loud noise that gives you a headache, and then it just rinses and repeats for 90 minutes until the film finally ends and you have no memory of it whatsoever. Where the movie kind of succeeds is with that comedy safety net I was talking about earlier. Since the film is half comedy, it does actually take the time to set up some jokes and punchlines, and I will admit I did laugh at a couple of them, especially the ones involving Tyler just freaking out about his grandparents. But most of the laughs do come from just how stupid this script is. And really, that's why we keep on going back to M. Night Shyamalan at this point. We just want to see what he's gonna do next, because no one else is gonna be that ridiculous and make a movie about it. A lot of people have been talking about how The Visit has allowed Shyamalan to return to his roots as a writer and director.
With The Visit, M. Night Shyamalan returns to his filmmaking roots. M. Night Shyamalan goes back to his roots with The Visit. The Visit lets M. Night Shyamalan return to his small project roots. His roots with The Visit, horror roots. Shyamalan returns to his roots.
That means there's a twist ending. Now, I'm not going to spoil it here, but I will say that the twist does work in the film. Like, it makes sense in the world that's been set up. It's not stupid like in Signs when the aliens that get killed by water come and invade a planet full of water. It actually makes sense.
Spoiler alert for a movie that's old enough to buy tickets to see itself.
It actually starts up the last third of the movie, which is definitely the best part of The Visit. It's when the film finally starts having fun with its ridiculous concept, killer grandparents and all. It's finally violent and exciting and funny and interesting, actually, though it has come far too late into the movie. And not to mention, it still is far too stupid for its own good at times. Far too stupid to forgive, actually. Those who are expecting a god-awful, horrendous abomination of cinema like The Last Airbender are going to be disappointed with The Visit. It's a really bad movie, but I'd be lying if I said it was the worst thing I've seen this year. There's stuff that can be salvaged from this mess. Like, some of the comedy kind of works. It kind of works, just barely. But that's still something. Part of me was actually disappointed that The Visit wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. I was kind of looking forward to making fun of a consistently faltering movie that failed on every single level, just because it'd be so easy to make jokes about. But alas, I found a couple things to enjoy about it. So thank you, M. Night Shyamalan. You've let me down again. The Visit gets 1.5 stars out of 4, which is about a 7 on the Shyamalan scale. Thanks for watching. I'm Cowboy Rivers.